My husband thought I was just his quiet wife who balanced checkbooks. I let him believe it. While he cheated and controlled everything, I built a secret business helping women escape men like him. In court, he expected $5,000. I showed the judge $800,000. I closed the leather portfolio and slipped it beneath my mattress, listening for Michael's footsteps on the hardwood downstairs. The numbers inside that ledger told a different story than the one he believed about his naive wife, who balanced his checkbook and smiled at charity luncheons. 17 clients, each one a woman seeking financial independence from controlling partners. Each consultation conducted in coffee shops across Nashville, while Michael thought I was shopping or getting my nails done. My phone buzzed. Another referral. Sarah Mitchell Financial Consulting, I whispered into the device, moving to the walk-in closet where Michael's expensive suits hung like silent sentries. I need help, the voice said. My husband monitors everything. Bank statements, credit cards, even my grocery receipts. I knew that prison. I'd lived in it for 4 years. I understand, I said. Let's meet tomorrow. The Frothy Monkey on 12th Avenue, 2 o'clock. Michael's voice boomed from downstairs. Sarah, where's my dry cleaning receipt? I hung up quickly and emerged from the closet, smoothing my blouse. Coming, darling. He stood in the marble foyer, tie loosened, that familiar crease between his brows that appeared whenever something disrupted his perfectly ordered world. The Shannon family had controlled Nashville real estate for 3 generations. Control was their currency. The receipt, he repeated, for my Navy suit. I retrieved it from the kitchen drawer, where I kept all his documentation organized by date. His fingers brushed mine as he took it, and I forced myself not to pull away. Thank you. His voice softened. You know how I depend on you for these details. Details. As if I was his personal assistant instead of his wife. Of course, I said. Dinner will be ready in 30 minutes. He kissed my forehead, the gesture as calculated as everything else about Michael Shannon. What would I do without you? I watched him disappear into his study, where he would spend the evening reviewing contracts and making deals that expanded the Shannon empire. He had no idea that upstairs, hidden beneath Egyptian cotton sheets, lay evidence of my own empire. An empire built one consultation at a time, one woman at a time, one secret at a time. The hotel receipt fluttered from Michael's jacket pocket as I gathered his laundry. The Hermitage Hotel, last Tuesday. The same Tuesday he'd told me he was in Memphis for depositions. I stared at the paper, my hands trembling slightly. Room service for 2. Champagne, strawberries. The pieces clicked together like numbers in a financial equation. The late meetings, the new cologne, the way he'd started taking calls in his car instead of his study. I photographed the receipt with my phone, then carefully returned it to his pocket. 4 years of marriage had taught me to document everything. Michael's legal mind appreciated evidence, and I'd learned to think like him. My client meeting at Frothy Monkey went smoothly. Janet, a pediatric nurse whose husband had hidden their savings in offshore accounts. I helped her trace the money, establish her own credit, create an escape fund. By the end of our hour together, she had a plan. I wished my own escape could be so simple. Back home, I found Michael in the kitchen, loosening his tie. He smiled that practiced smile he'd perfected for juries and social gatherings. How was your day? He asked, opening a bottle of wine. Quiet, I said. Lunch with Caroline, then some shopping. The lie came easily now. I'd had practice. He poured 2 glasses of Bordeaux, handed me one. I have good news. The Hartwell case settled. Bigger commission than expected. I raised my glass. Congratulations. I was thinking, he continued, maybe it's time we started trying for children. You're almost 30, Sarah. We shouldn't wait much longer. The wine turned bitter in my mouth. A baby would cement my dependence, make leaving impossible. Michael was too smart to suggest it randomly. I'd like that, I lied again. He moved closer, his hand settling on my waist. "You'd make a wonderful mother, so patient, so organized, so good at managing the details." There was that word again. Details. I tilted my face up as he leaned down to kiss me, tasting deception on his lips. He thought he was the only one with secrets. He was wrong. I slipped the hotel keycard from Michael's briefcase while he showered. The magnetic strip held data, and data told stories. My forensic accounting skills, the ones Michael thought were just useful for organizing his files, revealed patterns in spending that painted clear pictures. 3 different hotels over 6 months. Always the same pattern. Afternoon check-ins, room service for 2, checkout by evening. The shower stopped running. I returned the card to its exact position and moved to the bedroom, pulling out my laptop. My client list had grown to 23 women, each paying my consultation fee into an account Michael knew nothing about. He emerged from the bathroom, towel around his waist, water droplets catching the lamplight. Once, that sight would have stirred something in me. Now I felt only calculation. "Working late?" he asked, noticing the laptop. "Just updating our household budget," I said. "The Gardner Foundation Gala is next month. I need to factor in a new dress." Michael nodded approvingly. The Gardner Foundation was Nashville society's crown jewel, and appearances mattered to the Shannon family. "Get something elegant, navy or black, you know what works." He dressed for bed while I pretended to work on spreadsheets. In reality, I was researching Tennessee divorce law, particularly the clauses regarding hidden assets and prenuptial agreements. Our prenup, signed when I was 25 and starry-eyed, seemed ironclad. I would leave the marriage with exactly what I'd brought into it, my education and $5,000 in savings. But the document had been drafted before my business existed, before I'd learned to hide money the way Michael hid his affairs. "I love you," he said, settling beside me in bed. I closed the laptop and turned to face him. "I love you too." Another lie. But this one served a purpose. Every expression of trust made him more careless with his secrets. Michael fell asleep within minutes, his breathing deep and regular. I lay beside him, calculating. My business account held $47,000. Enough for a fresh start, but not enough for the life I wanted. I needed more time, more clients, more evidence, more patience. The key card in his briefcase would help with all 3. I found her name in his phone while he slept. Celeste Morrison, real estate agent, blonde, 26. Her Instagram showed a lifestyle of yoga retreats and wine bars, funded by commissions from Nashville's booming housing market. The ledger under my mattress now contained more than client records. It held photographs of hotel receipts, screenshots of text messages, bank statements showing cash withdrawals that matched hotel charges. Michael was building a case against himself, one careless detail at a time. "You're up early," he said, finding me in the kitchen with coffee and my laptop. "Couldn't sleep." I gestured at the screen. "Planning the seating chart for the Gardner Gala. Your mother insists the Harrisons sit with the Caldwells, but you know how Eleanor feels about Senator Caldwell." Michael poured his coffee, kissed my temple. "You handle it perfectly. You always do." His phone buzzed. He glanced at it, his expression shifting slightly. "Emergency at the office," he said. "I'll be late tonight." I watched him gather his briefcase, the same leather case that held the keycard evidence of his double life. He paused at the door. "Sarah," he said, "I want you to know how much I appreciate you, how much our marriage means to me." The words should have hurt. Instead, they felt like ammunition. "Our marriage means everything to me too," I replied. After he left, I called my newest client, a surgeon whose husband was systematically draining their joint accounts. While I explained asset protection strategies, I thought about my own situation. Michael believed he was the strategist in our relationship, the chess master moving pieces while I arranged flowers and planned dinner parties. He had no idea the game had changed. That afternoon, I opened a second business account. Sarah Mitchell Consulting LLC became Mitchell Financial Strategies International. I filed incorporation papers in Delaware, established a business address in New York, created a website advertising services to high-net-worth individuals seeking discreet financial planning. By evening, I had 5 consultation requests from women across the country. When Michael came home smelling like Celeste Morrison's perfume, I greeted him with a smile and asked about his day. "Productive," he said. "Very productive." I almost laughed. The divorce papers arrived on a Tuesday. Michael's attorney had crafted them carefully, citing irreconcilable differences and referencing our prenuptial agreement. According to the documents, I would receive $5,000 and could keep my personal belongings. I read them twice, then placed them on the kitchen counter where Michael would see them when he came home. He found me in the garden, trimming roses with surgical precision. "Sarah," he said, his voice gentler than I'd heard in months. "We need to talk." I looked up, pruning shears still in my hand. "About Celeste Morrison?" His face went pale. "How did you—" "Hotel receipts," I said calmly. "Keycard records, text messages, bank statements. 4 months of documentation, Michael. Very thorough documentation." He sat heavily on the garden bench. "I never meant for this to happen." "You mean you never meant to get caught?" The hearing was scheduled for the following month. Michael's attorney, Preston Hartwell, was confident. The prenup was solid, they assured him. His wife was naive about financial matters. She would accept the settlement and disappear quietly. They had no idea about my business, about the accounts in Delaware and New York, about the 47 clients who had paid consultation fees totaling $230,000. On the morning of the hearing, I dressed carefully. Navy suit, pearl earrings, my grandmother's wedding ring on my right hand instead of my left. I looked like exactly what Michael had always wanted, a proper Shannon wife. The courtroom was smaller than I'd expected. Michael sat with Preston Hartwell, reviewing documents with confident smiles. They glanced at me occasionally, their expressions mixing pity with satisfaction. When Judge Morrison asked about my financial situation, I stood slowly. "Your Honor," I said, "I'd like to present evidence regarding my independent assets." The receipt I handed to the bailiff wasn't from a hotel or restaurant. It was a bank statement showing the balance of Mitchell Financial Strategies International, $847,000. Michael's face went white. Preston Hartwell's mouth fell open. "It appears," Judge Morrison said dryly, "that Mrs. Shannon has been rather more industrious than previously indicated." I had learned to play chess after all, and I had just declared checkmate. The settlement hearing lasted 4 hours. By the end, Michael's confident smile had dissolved into stunned silence. The prenuptial agreement that was supposed to protect his family's wealth instead protected mine. I walked out of the courthouse with my business intact, my reputation established, and my freedom secured. The key card in my purse, not Michael's hotel card, but the access card to my new office space, felt like a talisman. 6 months later, I stood in the conference room of Mitchell Financial Strategies, addressing a room full of women entrepreneurs. The Nashville skyline stretched beyond floor-to-ceiling windows. The city that had once felt like a prison now spread before me like a promise. Financial independence, I told them, isn't just about money. It's about choice. The choice to stay or leave. The choice to build something that belongs entirely to you. In the front row, Janet, my client from the Frothy Monkey, smiled. She had left her controlling husband and started her own medical practice. Behind her sat Caroline, my former lunch companion, who had finally learned the truth about my shopping trips and wanted to invest in women-owned businesses. My phone buzzed with a text from Celeste Morrison. She wanted a consultation. Apparently, Michael's promises of divorce and a new life together had evaporated along with his confidence in court. I deleted the message without responding. Some patterns deserved to be broken completely. The foundation I established, Women's Financial Empowerment Initiative, operated from the floor below my consulting practice. We provided free services to women escaping financial abuse, funded by profits from my high-end client consultations. 3 years after walking out of that courtroom, I had helped over 300 women gain financial independence. My business operated in 12 cities across 3 countries. Forbes had featured me in their Women to Watch issue. Michael had remarried, a 24-year-old paralegal who signed a prenup drafted by his new attorney. I heard through Nashville's social network that she was taking accounting classes at Vanderbilt. Some lessons, apparently, were harder to learn than others. I smiled, looking out at the women in my conference room, each one writing her own story of transformation. The naive accountant who had once balanced Michael Shannon's checkbook was gone. In her place stood someone who understood that true power wasn't inherited or married into. It was earned, one choice at a time,